in the deep dark blue. I'm in the deep dark blue. I'm in the deep dark blue.
Welcome to the YCS Cup Series. It's race number 9 in Season 2. And we got a special one today, 20 laps is the distance our 38 drivers will have to go, which means they will have to make a pit stop in this race, something we rarely see in this series. One driver will have the winning strategy. Let's find out who he'll be today. Got some drivers to look out for. We'll start with Martin Truex Jr. He's had some good runs here at Charlotte. One top 5 in the 2 races in Season 1. 9.5 average finish. And he led 7 of the 30 laps in Season 1. The 78 starts in the P3. Our next driver to watch starts in the 6th position, and that's the closer, Kevin Harvick. And he does have a win under his belt here at Charlotte, and then another top 10 to back it up for that 3.5 average finish. He led 5 laps of the 30. Can Kevin Harvick get it done today? And then one more driver we'll look out for is David Ragan. He starts very deep in the field, but this is about where he started last season when he won at Charlotte. He won under a fuel mileage strategy. He was the only driver to save enough fuel to make it to the end. Will we see something like that in today's race? Here's the starting lineup. Kurt Busch is your pole sitter, and he starts next to Jimmie Johnson in row 1, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch row 2, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick row 3, Carl Edwards, Chase Elliott row 4, and then Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski row 5. Row 6 belongs to Matt Kenseth and Casey Kane, Clint Bowyer and Kyle Larson in row 7, Eric Almirola and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row 8, Jamie McMurray, Ryan Newman, row 9, and Danica Patrick and Austin Dillon in row number 10. Row 11, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Ryan Blaney. Row 12 is Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, Paul Menard, and David Ragan in row 13. Behind them, it's Trevor Bayne, Chris Buescher, and then row 15, Ty Dillon and Michael McDowell. AJ Allmendinger and Matt DiBenedetto in row 16, Landon Castle, Casey Mears, row 17, Regan Smith, Justin Allgaier, row 18, Ryan Scott and Jeffrey Earnhardt in row 19. And here's our race analysis. We've got the 20 laps as mentioned. Fuel window is 12 laps and only one set of tires for this race. It's going to be interesting to see what teams play which strategy, and it all depends on if we even get cautions in this race. I mean, we could see green flag pit stops. It all depends. I'm excited. Let's get this thing underway. It's Kurt Busch and Jimmie Johnson on the front row. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we see off the start already Joey Logano going 3 wide as Kurt Busch clears for the lead. Here they are 3 wide for third. Martin Truex Jr. in the middle there. He's going to send it through turn 3, jump in front of Kyle Busch. And Jimmie Johnson's going to challenge for the lead as Kurt Busch leads lap 1. 48 on the inside and the 41 on the outside. Our front row starters side by side down the back straight away. Who's going to have the advantage into turn 3? It looks like Jimmie Johnson on the bottom. Can he clear up? Yes, he does. In front of Kurt Busch, Jimmie Johnson will lead lap 2. In turn 1 they go. Next battle on the track is for 4th place. That's Joey Logano on the inside. He had that aggressive start to the race. And that's Kyle Busch in the 18 on the outside. The inside worked for the leader, Jimmie Johnson. Joey Logano trying to make it work, but Kyle Busch hanging on that outside. And here comes his teammate, Carl Edwards. Edwards looking to the bottom as Joey Logano gets the push from the 19. Oh, couple cars around in turn 3. That's Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 32, and that was Brian Scott in the 44. So the caution's out. Lap 4, let's see what happened. These two drivers are in last and second to last, and it looks like Jeffrey Earnhardt kind of just gets into the corner very aggressively, loses control of his car, and puts the 44 into the wall unintentionally. But that'll be it for Jeffrey Earnhardt. We saw Brian Scott drive away. And with the fuel window being 12 laps, I don't think anyone can make it from here. David Ragan was only able to stretch it a couple more laps than that, but with 16 left to go, it looks like some guys in the back are going to take the chance. And here comes Greg Biffle. Chris Buescher's in. There's David Ragan in the 23. Looks like fuel only for the 16 and most of these guys. Michael McDowell elects to take his tires very early in the race. One set. And there we see Brian Scott. He's headed to the garage. So unfortunate ending for the 44 and the 32. And we'll take one more look at it as the field lines up for the restart. But the 32 just loses control entering turn 3. And he's done, and it looks like the 44, they're going to try to repair it. But right now, he's in the garage along with Jeffrey Earnhardt. So, back to the green flag we go, and it's Jimmie Johnson who's leading here at Charlotte. There goes Joey Logano again. Another aggressive start or restart for Joey Logano. Kurt Busch is going to concede, but Martin Truex Jr. is going to go for the lead on Jimmie Johnson, the 78 to the inside. We talked about him being a factor in this race. He's going to lead that lap over the 48. And Joey Logano looking there in third. Jimmie Johnson holding on the outside lane. We saw him take the lead on the inside, but that 48 looks strong if he can hold both lanes. Truex fighting on the inside lane. Johnson not clear yet. Truex is going to try and get him back. In a turn 1 they go. Who's going to have the better entry to the corner? Johnson stronger on that outside lane. Truex trying the bottom, but it looks like he'll finally give it up. Jimmie Johnson will hold the lead and fend off Martin Truex Jr. The next battle on the track is between Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch. This is for 6th place. It looks like Chase Elliott wins that battle. And in front of them, Carl Edwards making strides on Kurt Busch. That's for 4th place. So our pole sitter falling back a little bit. And Carl Edwards, our regular season points leader as of right now. He'll take that spot. Here comes Joey Logano. We saw him aggressive on the restarts, and he goes for 2nd on Martin Truex Jr. using the outside lane is the Pennzoil number 22. Truex not giving up just yet down the back straightaway. He's going to stay with the 22 on the inside lane. And now Joey Logano, whoa, no, he's loose, and he's into Truex. Truex is into the outside wall. That's going to bring out a caution and end the day for the 78. Just when I thought Logano was going to clear him, there was contact between the two drivers. And I have to look at that again. But man, let's see what happened. Martin Truex Jr. on the inside. I thought he was going to slot behind the 22, but he tags Joey Logano, gets him loose. And then Logano back down the track into the 78 and takes him out. Logano was able to drive away, but he'll probably have some damage he'll need to repair. And you think everyone's going to be coming in now that we're halfway through this race. Everyone should make it on fuel. And we'll see they'll more than likely take their 4 tires now. There's Jimmie Johnson in. He's taking his 4. Denny Hamlin behind him gets 4 as well. And off the 48 goes. Let's see who can win this race off of pit road. Kurt Busch, with that first stall, is going to gain 3 spots and retake the lead. We see Joey Logano there. He repaired that damage. That's -7 for him. And Greg Biffle took 2 tires only on that stop. That's why he's up 16 into the 10th place position. And here it is again. Another look at the contact and the crash for Martin Truex Jr. And we did have a couple of speeding penalties on pit road. The 15 of Clint Boyer and the 88 of Dale Jr. will be sent to the tail end of the longest line. And there we see Brian Scott. He did, in fact, make his way back onto the racetrack. So we're ready for another restart, and it's Kurt Busch who gained those spots on pit road. He's going to try and challenge Jimmie Johnson for the lead. 3 wide behind him, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Larson. Battling it out for 5th place. Elliott on the bottom, Denny Hamlin in the middle there. Look at Joey Logano. He's going to go 4 wide. Joey Logano. There's contact with Elliott hard into the wall. Goes Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. Kyle Larson in it as well. So the caution comes right back out. And it was a 4 wide move by the 22. He's been so aggressive all race long. He just had an incident with Martin Truex Jr. That one wasn't really his fault, but I think I can put this one on him. Such an aggressive move, trying to get 3 cars at once. And if he makes that move cleanly, yeah, it's a great move. But unfortunately, he gets into the 24. Right there, we'll really slow it down here so we can see it. Just as he's about to clear him, contact there, and there is just no room for error when you're 4 wide at this track, especially in the tri-oval. Tri-oval is really interestingly shaped. It's so sharp. The walls just kind of stick out at you when you're trying to go through it. But, yeah, 4 wide, they run out of room. Hard lick for Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. And then Kyle Larson gets squeezed up into the wall as well. Real speed again. Oh, man, what a hit for Chase Elliott. But they're going to join Martin Truex Jr. and Jeffrey Earnhardt in the garage, not Brian Scott. In fact, he gets the free pass on this caution. But we're ready for the restart, and it was Kurt Busch versus Jimmy Johnson. They hadn't settled that yet. And here they go again. Jimmy Johnson strong on the outside lane. Man, he has a really good car today. Can Kurt Busch try to get back to that lead? He's still on the inside as Johnson leads another lap in this race. Kurt Busch there on the inside. Look at how good the 48 is through the center of the corner there. He's going to clear Kurt Busch, and now the next battle is on between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. This is for 4th place. And remember, Joey Logano had slipped back on pit road when they spent more time fixing that damage. He was running 2nd before the contact with Martin Truex Jr. and then obviously had the 4 wide move. But he gets in front of Kyle Busch, and there's Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards for 2nd place. Maybe Carl Edwards has something for our leader as the laps wind down. Johnson leading with 5 to go. Joey Logano now making a move on Kurt Busch. So Busch good on the short runs, but looks like he slips back on these longer runs. And a caution is out. We've got a car into the wall. It's Greg Biffle. He was on those 2 tires, and you got to think maybe those 2 older tires that he didn't take went down. Let's see what happened to the 16 here. He's 3 wide, and he actually gets contact from the 27. That's Paul Menard. Gets turned into the wall. He goes and back down the track. Good avoidance by everyone, and especially Clint Boyer there, to not make this more than a 1-car incident. I guess 2 cars if you count Paul Menard, but maybe he's holding these guys up. He is on 2 tires, 2 fresh ones, so 2 old ones. And just gets in the way, I think. Paul Menard trying to get to the inside, make it 3 wide. But Greg Biffle gets taken out. Another free pass to Brian Scott. He is now only 4 laps down instead of 6. But we're ready for a restart. 4 to go. Jimmy Johnson. And look at Joey Logano. Another aggressive restart for the 22. Does he have what it takes to get in front of Jimmy Johnson? Down the back stretch they go. Joey Logano. Such a good car on the restarts, but Jimmy Johnson still holding tough on the outside lane. 3 to go. Joey Logano trying everything he can, but the 48 so good on the high side. He clears Joey Logano and holds the lead once again. Battle for 3rd, Kevin Harvick, the closer. Where did he come from? Late in this race, and he finds his way towards the front. 2 to go. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. He has to pass 2 cars in 2 laps. Can he get it done? Look at him get all the way to the back bumper. The 22, does he make his move into 3? Yes, he does! On Joey Logano for 2nd. Well, the white flag is in the air. 1 to go for Jimmy Johnson. He just has to hang on in front of Kevin Harvick. Does Harvick have enough time to close in on the 48? Jimmy Johnson with a win already this season, looking for his 2nd of the season. Jimmy Johnson is going to win at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And in dominant fashion, too. Joey Logano gave it everything he had to get around this fast 48. So did others. I mean, Kurt Busch couldn't get around him. Neither could Martin Truex Jr. Joey Logano was the final driver to attempt a pass on the 48, but it just wasn't enough. Hendrick Motorsports had that car dialed in for this one. Jimmy Johnson is your winner in dominant fashion at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And he's going to burn it down for the fans here in North Carolina. Congratulations, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson becomes the first repeat winner of the season. He was the first repeat winner in Season 1 and went on to win the championship. So title defense looking good for the 48 so far. Kevin Harvick, another runner-up finish this season. Joey Logano, very aggressive day. He gets 3rd. And there's our big mover of the race. It goes to Ryan Blaney, who was actually a tie between multiple drivers, but he finished the best of those drivers. Up 10 spots from 22nd, Ryan Blaney gets 12th. And there we see Clint Boyer 17th, Dale Jr. 20th. They both had those speeding penalties. That's how far they could recover at the end of the race. There's Michael McDowell. He actually put his fresh tires on very early in the race. I believe it was the lap 4 caution. And then the team put those 4-lap scuffs back on during the lap 10 caution. So he ends up 24th on a sort of different tire strategy than the rest of the field. Speaking of different strategy, Greg Biffle, he took those 2 tires, ended up getting turned by Paul Menard. He's the first of the crashed cars. And there's Elliott, Hamlin, Larson, who were in that wreck with Logano. And then Truex and Jeffrey Earnhardt. So here's the playoff standings. Jimmy Johnson is at the top. He's got 10 playoff points, 5 points per race win. Joey Logano, the first in on points, plus 53. Very good for the 22. The 11, Denny Hamlin, 45 above. But right there gets really close to the cut line. Paul Menard just 1 above Eric Almirola. And how about the regular season standings so far? These are playoff points. Remember, the regular season champion gets 15 playoff points. And Carl Edwards holds that spot right now, 30 points ahead of Joey Logano. And it is the entire top 10 that get playoff points. If Truex can hold 10th, he'll get 1 point for that spot. All right, while we're at it, let's look at the Rookie of the Year standings. It is not a close battle. Ryan Blaney has pulled ahead of the other 5 Rookie of the Year contenders, 46 points ahead of Regan Smith. It's pretty close between Smith and then back to Jeffrey Earnhardt, but Ryan Blaney having the better rookie season of these 6. So congratulations to him so far this season. And here's up next on the schedule. We go to Pennsylvania for Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. And then after that, the Hills in Sonoma, and then Daytona, and then our mystery track, which will be revealed at Daytona. But that's it from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in Pocono.